Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we have the Roma out with Azure Lane Littorio. This is going to be kind of a series we're doing this week of giving each one of the new Azure Lane commanders the best opportunity to have some sort of fun in the build that they promote. See if that commander is worth it, because I think the consensus in the community that this is probably the worst wave of Azure Lane ships and Azure Lane commanders. So I wanted to see if there's anything redeemable about anyone. Of course, the one that came in with the most hype was Azure Lane Littorio. Of course, she is a accuracy commander, something we don't currently have. And I do have to say, as far as accuracy goes, look at these shots on Otago. They look absolutely beautiful compared to Roma's normal sort of shotgunniness. And that is what you can achieve. I guess I'll throw up the build right now. We do have Scharnhorst and Cunningham on as inspirations. We are not running Flammable Cannoneer just because the amount of HE spam in this game means if you go ahead and take that 13% chance to catch fire, I was getting 3 fires every single game when I was running Flammable Cannoneer. It was just not worth it to me. But look at that like there are shots with Azure Lane Littorio that you're like, wow, like it is absolutely worth it. But then you play more games and you kind of like you kind of do your thing. Anyways, Littorio, what is it? It is one of the sister ships of Roma, so we do have this nice Littorio skin. Of course, it is a sister ship to also, there's 4 of them in the line, but it's also sister ship to what will be the new tier 7 ship, the Veneto. So this is kind of what they have. Now, one of the things that these ships were known for is they were the fastest battleships when they launched. Of course, you don't really get that in game, especially when you run the accuracy builds, because you do also take a hit to your speed. So it is something you just kind of have to keep in mind. Now, was I having fun playing Roma with an accuracy build? Yeah, it's different, but I think it comes down to how you want to play and if you want a monoculture of builds out there. Because yes, you can stick the accuracy commander on there, and as you can see, we're getting okay results, right? These aren't terrible. We're not having a barn burner of a game. We're getting hits, we're getting kills, right? We're playing the backline kind of where Roma isn't really supposed to be, and that's kind of the weird thing is like sticking accuracy commander on these ships means that you're all of a sudden kind of competing with ships you usually wouldn't. You're going to see in Iowa throughout this game at the very edge of our firing range. And guess what? We are well within his range this whole time. But for us, we need to continuously push into him. And that's kind of where the Roma lacks any fun, any good in the build, just because you are using your build to try to get closer to other ships as far as like the way it performs at range. You're using those invaluable commander skills and inspirations to try to buff an area that the ship isn't that great in, when I feel like definitely my philosophy has been a lot more of buff what a ship is strong in, and then it becomes the best at the tier at doing that thing. Yes, it may not be a jack of all trades, but it will be the best ship in a certain situation. And that's kind of the way I have ended up feeling about Littorio. Anyways, we've pushed up into the decap. The enemies have nearly wiped out our team over on A. They've done a fairly good job of holding B, but we've done a pretty good job of just kind of hitting whatever ship is in B to prevent them from capping it. But it is not looking too great. This Iowa is doing a very good job of kind of locking down this corridor. As you can see, he's finally sort of in range for us, but even then, not really. That Otago is still trying to cap B. Roma, we were able to get a couple of good shots in on, and there is a Yamato that is slowly making his way towards us. And this is the point in the game where I go, oh, our team has black hold, and I am officially in the center of this black hole, and we need to change it. I'm currently concealed. If I continue to go out past this island, Yamato is going to spot me, so I need to make this turn very quickly. Our destroyer is taking C, so even though we are going to end up giving up the B point, we should be able to even out on points relatively soon. Not in the overall points, but as far as rate of accrual, we can see that their team has kind of taken up a nice defensive position in B, and we need to get a flank off because we are not going to do too well. Also, we can see that they still have 2 of their destroyers. We've seen one is a Shimakaze, and I think we did just see, or we will see soon, the other is a Friesland, which, of course, that does give us a little bit a sigh of a relief, because that means we really only need to worry about Shimakaze torps, which we already got hit by 1 this match, but not having to worry about other torps from a Friesland does free us up. But you can see we've successfully made this 180-degree turn. Our teammates are still kind of pushing forward and pushing in to see, but we know, okay, we're going to try to start going wide. We see these other ships are pushing in. We need to try to get other angles, try to establish crossfires. And this is one of the good things. We're in Aroma, which does have a decent base speed. Unfortunately, because of the way that an accuracy build takes its toll, we are now down on speed, which means we're kind of just average at speed with this build, which is, like I said, just a little bit unfortunate. Like, if you've noticed, we have not fired our guns in, what, 4 minutes? Like, it has been a long time since we fired our guns, and that's not what you want to do in a battleship, right? A battleship has a 30-second reload-ish. You have a 15-minute match. Ergo, you have 30 times where you get to do damage to an enemy ship. And if you aren't maximizing your time when you're doing that, you are not doing the best service to your team. Anyways, our Shima took out the Yamato there, and our Grossa Kernfürst finishes off the Roma. And now our team looking pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and stay down on what was our original spawn. We can see that Grossa Kernfürst is kind of making the turn to start to engage the Iowa that's been dead ahead of him. We can see the other Grossa Kernfürst that's been kind of nearer to us is throwing his way into B. And at this point, we could either join him, but what I want to do is head to the south of B right now, mainly because we know that Friesland is still somewhere in that cap. And if that Friesland tries to escape down on the lower heart, we want to be able to intercept him. Now, unfortunately for us, just the way this goes, he actually goes to the north of the islands, and the Grossa Kernfürst is going to get the free shots on him. But we needed to do this, right? This was maximizing our chances to get shots on this Friesland. Now, we don't need to worry about getting close to this Friesland. We knew that just because, well, it's a Friesland, no torpedoes, we're safe. So we can continue kind of pushing in to B. We want to be able to go ahead and cap B, get the points rolling in our way. Ever since we took out those 2 battleships, we are now back ahead on points, but we could still lose this, right? We only have 1 other destroyer. It's a Shimakaze, not exactly the best gunboat known to man, and we don't know how much health the other Shimakaze has. So it may end up being a Shima v Shima duel, and if our Shima ends up losing, then they have what is just a hard counter to us left in the match, and we don't want to do that. So we want to play this game smart. We want to start getting the caps, and we can see the enemy Shima just took out our Grossa Kernfürst that was pushing in on the Iowa. The Friesland looks like he was starting to head right towards us. We have our HE loaded. Let's wait for him to come around the corner. Spotted, and bye-bye Friesland. There we go. Excellent. Now we can start taking B and then heading into A. It does look like the Iowa is just kind of sitting still out by that island. Shima looks like he's gone horizontal, which means he's probably just dumped torps into the Iowa, and we can pretty much assume that Iowa is not long for this world. But we still need to be concerned about the other enemy Shima. He was well within range of us. He could easily be heading towards B because he knows, well, they only have enemy battleships left, and they are capping B, which means there are enemy battleships in relatively close range. So he could be planning some sort of torpedo run. We do end up getting spotted right here. We kind of keep our head on a swivel, prepare to be able to move the ship. We are not in range of, we cannot shoot at the Iowa, But at this point, the Iowa could very much shoot at us if he so decided, because, well, that's just the way it goes. But enemy Shima ends up popping up. I think the Shima start to spot each other, and they're going to start gunboating. And this is where we get to see, once again, Littorio with the accuracy build on Iowa. Is it the greatest thing ever? No. We still have some pretty wonky dispersion on it, and it really is all up to RNG when you are running Littorio. Does it on average give you better rolls? Absolutely. It absolutely makes it a way more accurate and consistent ship as far as a gun performance goes. But what you're giving up in survivability, what you're giving up in the heals department, is it worth it? I don't really think it is so far. Anyways, Iowa has finally pushed into us. We've gone ahead and loaded AP because he's giving us somewhat of a broadside. We're going to see how our shells pen coming this way, but we can see we are still making our way towards A, because the real goal, given that it is Shima v. two Shimas and 2 battleships left, is to win on points. And we're doing a decent job right now. Every couple of seconds, we get those 4 extra points from each cap, and we are ever expanding the lead. And once we get into A, we can stop them from gaining any more sort of lead. Shima dumping his torps into the enemy, the enemy Iowa, and they have now resumed a gunfight, and we're going to try to take our shots at the enemy Shima. We can see he is way out in the water. Unfortunately, he does end up taking out our Shima. We are now in the cap, and we now have to make the strategic call, right? Do we A, turn towards the Shima, or B, turn away from the Shima? And guys, if your goal, if in your head you said, yeah, we turn towards the Shima because this is we're here to sink ships, I'm going to tell you, no, sir. That is how you lose games. There is no reason for us to head towards that Shimakaze. We are ahead on points. We have a good chunk of our health. He is going to outspot us and outmaneuver us at every corner. We need to do the responsible thing, hit hard port, hit full ahead, and just get behind this island, because we do not want to give him the opportunity to nuke us with torps, which I am sure is exactly what he's doing. As you can see, we're keeping our turrets turned out towards the way we last saw them. We're going to go ahead, flip over, get the turrets to lock, and start turning the other way, and just turning on the map to make sure that we shoot ourselves out on that little bit of the island where there are, to prevent ourselves from running around, we want to kind of aim right for that little channel that's there, and we want to get on out of here, because there's only a minute left in this game. We do not need to engage this Shima. It is a one-sided fight, and he will win that one-sided fight. Yes, we may be able to sink him if he pops up, but chances are he could easily launch from stealth, and we would have no idea where he is. So, like I said, not even a consideration wanting to engage this. We're going to sail off into the sunset, take the win when we have it, especially because we are so far ahead on points. We don't need to worry about it. It's not even close. He ends up popping up. I think he fires some shells at us. There's 11 seconds left. We're going to go ahead, fire, lead him just a little bit. He turns in and ends up dodging those shells, and that's all she wrote. But thankfully, we end up with the win. Like I said, overall, will I be running Littorio on these ships? No. Guys, stay with Paolo, and maybe, like, I have a feeling we're getting an accuracy commander. I have no inside knowledge whether we're getting a free accuracy commander, but I have a feeling that an accuracy commander has to be on the way. They've always kind of released one when the ships go into full release. We'll see next patch notes. But guys, that's Littorio. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I hope you liked the video and enjoy the rest of your day. See ya.